Hey there, homeschool leader. Welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about something to empower you as a parent or guardian, whoever you are in your child's life. And today we're going to be talking about a really important framework called the world as the classroom. And this is almost a fundamental foundation of homeschooling, of unschooling. And this is the world is the classroom. Now, is the world a classroom? Maybe. If that's how you see it, if that's how your child can begin to see things, then it becomes the classroom. So in this case, the world as the classroom. What does that mean? That means that whether we're outside at a park, at a hill, in a building, on a river, in a plane, in a boat, or anywhere else, that can be a learning environment. And so with that context, then you have the framework to see learning happening all around us. And that's one of the most damaging things that forced school has done to us all, anyone who's gone to the forced school system, is we think that school is from September to June, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 3 p.m., Monday through Friday, and then now we're getting close to summer. Now it's no more learning, right? It's over. No. Even recall upon high school graduation or college graduation, that is called a commencement ceremony. So after all those years, we think, oh, it's finally over. We can be finished with learning. No. Now more than ever, it's more important that your child and you even consider the idea that learning is forever, and there is no point where you just say, I'm just gonna stop learning. I've learned enough. I know it all. And you know what? Some people do that. So don't let me infringe upon your freedom to just say, hey, I'm done. I'm tapping out. Too much technology, too much knowledge, you know. And that's true. We do have a lot of information. We do have a lot of knowledge. I heard the quote or the statistic that today, this is June 2018, today we have access to more information in one 24-hour cycle than our grandparents had in their entire life. So put that into a little bit of a contrast to see we are being bombarded with information. And if your child can begin to focus their interest, focus their passion on one particular topic, then you can build a curriculum around that. And we'll get into that in other videos, but today's video is just about the world as the classroom, as the curriculum. So the other part of that philosophy is that anybody or anything that you can learn from can be a teacher. So when I say anything, that can be an object, right? So I'm talking to a video camera right now, but there's laptops, there's other technologies, there's knives, right? You can learn from a knife, right? You can learn from a video camera, from a laptop. And then also we have the traditional understanding that teachers, right? So humans are good teachers too. Some of the best teachers are humans. And now they're talking about artificial intelligence. They call it AI, and there's something called ML, machine learning. It's amazing stuff that's happening, and not even like going to happen. This is stuff that's happening now. So if anything that you can learn from can be a teacher, so talking to you, parent, also to your my box flies down the hill here. Hope not. Talking to the parent that, yeah, that's your framework, but the student, right? Remember, they're at a young age, whether they're 3 years old or 6 or 9 or 12 or 15 or 18, they have more neuroplasticity. And all that means is that their neurons are very flexible and they're looking to build new connections. And the strengthened connection means that there's this strong skill, the strong memory, and then you can return to that skill, that habit, that memory. Just like a deer that runs along the grass, after a while there begins to have a pathway in the grass. Same thing in our minds. We have pathways in our mind, in our brains, and these are called neural pathways, and the brain cells are called neurons, if you're interested in all that. So as you begin to retrain your brain as an adult, the young person has already that neuroplasticity. That's why if we ever try to play a video game with a young person, like even my 6-year-old nephew, he can just slaughter me on this, I think it's called Halo. And then my other nephew is in his teens. he can defeat me at Madden football. Sometimes I win too, but the point is that he doesn't have any more experience than I do in real life, but he has more experience on the video game. And that's where their advantage comes. So if we can begin to see the world around us, that there's learning happening all over the place, and from the day we're born and to the day we transition to the next life, learning is always happening. And then what John Taylor Gatto taught us all was that teaching isn't a profession, it's a function. So anybody can be a teacher, and that's really one of the key components I want you to take home today, if you can, is that just because somebody has a PhD doesn't mean they're a great teacher. And just because they're a teenager doesn't mean they're an inferior teacher. Actually, the positions can be switched quite rapidly and in context. And I learned this story from Brian Tracy. He said, let's say there's a PhD scientist or a neurosurgeon. He's driving down the road and his car dies. So here he is. He's on his way to a meeting. He's got to get there. He doesn't know how to fix the car. And then some local small town young man comes over, says, hey, mister, looks like you got some trouble with your car. How can I help you? And he says, yeah, I don't know what to do. And so the young man fixes the neurosurgeon's car, the PhD, and off the neurosurgeon goes to his meeting and he makes it. So the question is, who is more intelligent, the young teenage mechanic or the neurosurgeon? And we can conclude that it depends. It's contingent upon the context. And so because of the forced schooling system, most of us don't have any idea how to grow our own vegetables, how to build a house, build a boat, make art, make music, right? We're stuck in the linear left side of the brain with mathematics and logic. But what's going to make your child a real superstar in the future, even though they already are now, right? That's the key component, is they're already valuable as they are. But as adults, as grown people, when they're able to learn new things and try new things and not be attached to the outcome of those trials and those experiments, then they're going to have an advantage over their counterparts who, like me, I went to public school and I went to college and got a business degree and all that. So there's a part of my mind, and I'm becoming conscious of it more and more, that I got to get it right? That has to be perfect, and I got to get an 80% on the test or 90% on the test, when that's not real life, right? So the young person is so liberated, up until maybe 8 or 10 or 12 or 14, somewhere in that, depending on their home life and their school life, but they're free and they're jumping around and they don't care what other people think until they start to have conscious of their social network, their social peers. How do people see me? This type of thought process. And if the world is the classroom, mom and dad and guardians, then we're not going to be tied down to their grades if they're still in the public school system, or to comparison with their neighbors, because the future is so rapidly changing as we speak. I should say the present's changing and the future is exponentially changing, that you as a homeschool leader is not going to be jarred or knocked off course when your neighbor comes over and says, hey, Johnny just got a 4.0 and he's doing these great things in the 8th grade or the 10th grade. And you're like, my 10-year-old or my 12-year-old's having a tough time reading or tough time doing math. That's totally fine. What you want to consider as this new curriculum, the world as the classroom, is whatever your student, your child is interested in, that is their curriculum. And we'll go into more of that in the future, how to customize the curriculum. But just as an example right now, and I'll let you get back to your business. Here we are at a park, Cupertino, California, and we can make a curriculum out of this park. I came here, there's not a whole bunch of people here, thankfully, and we could start with, how old is this park? When was it created? Who created it? How many acres are there here? How many parking spots are there here? How many picnic tables are here? Can I rent a picnic table? What kind of animals are here? What kind of swing sets are here? All these types of questions, if your child is interested in parks or nature and wildlife, we can begin to create a curriculum around that. And so that's one of the things I want to wrap up here, is that the world truly is the classroom. And that's just my particular belief, because I just see learning everywhere. And even better than the classroom is like the world is a learning adventure. You know, humans are brilliant. Humans are genius, especially your child, your daughter, your son, your student, whoever it is in your life. They're absolutely brilliant in their own way. Just like you have unique thumbprints, unique DNA, there's nobody like your child or you on this planet. So my conclusion is that there's not just a few number of intelligences, there's got to be 7 billion types of intelligences, because each of us is brilliant in our own way. And I want to invite you to consider that the world is the classroom, that anything you can learn from can be a teacher, and that there are no limits to the things that your student and your child can learn. So off, and what am I trying to say? Off you go into the world to pursue this, if you want, consideration as a curriculum. The fundamental part of a homeschool and unschooling curriculum is that we're not trapped in a building. We're on a hill, we're in a grocery store, we're in a, where do you want to be, a stadium? You want to be in a swimming pool, you want to be in a river, you want to be in an airplane, wherever your student wants to be, your child and you, that is the classroom. So we'll continue to develop these ideas as we proceed. I have so much respect for you, so much appreciation, so much hope in you, the homeschool leader, helping to empower your child as they see the world as a classroom and anything they can learn from as a teacher. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.